Alright, welcome back everybody to the 4th week of the Advanced Pokemon Enterprise, or APE. So, as you can see from our record here, unfortunately we had ourselves a bit of a loss last week. We ended up losing 5-0. Unfortunately, we basically prepped for the wrong entire idea. We expected a full rain team, and that is not at all what happened. Side note, I am keeping an eye on any Delmise in the future. So, before we discuss our opponent's team, we actually have a few changes to our team we need to discuss. Unfortunately, we had a few drops. Fortress decided that Miami was a little too hot and wanted to go somewhere else, so he's checking out for ideas. Poliwrath just didn't like the idea of being stuck as a bench warmer and decided to quit. Juan decided that he wants to find somewhere else to play if possible, and Hita basically didn't like the fact that she was there just to take hits and die. So she decided to cut her contract as well. But this is okay because this allows us to pick up 3 new Mons for our team, so say hello to Arcanine, Goodra, and Feraligatr. These guys are all going to be pretty helpful for us, and hopefully they'll clue in a few things with the rest of the team and kind of pick up the slack when they need to. So, let's go on to the opponent's roster. So this week we are facing off against the Pakota West Sceptiles. They are coached by Jerry, and their current record is actually a 1-2 with a -6 differential. So, yeah, they're not exactly faring super well themselves, but we can see. And honestly, looking at their team here, they're actually pretty strong with Infernape, Mega Mawile, which is actually a terrifying threat. Kyurem can be threatening. Blissey is amazing as a wall in general. Slowbro as well. So overall, this team is going to be a real threat to build against. So this is the team I'm expecting us to see. We've highlighted them in green. So I'm expecting Mawile, of course. I'm expecting Infernape because of speed and priority. Blissey is going to be there as a special wall, I'm willing to bet. Slowbro as a physical. Crobat's going to be there, I'm guessing, for speed control, and then Kyurem I'm expecting to either be Scarfed or Spexed, so we're going to have to be mindful for that. So with this team in mind, we've decided to build this team. So as you can see, Zeraora actually has the Choice Scarf, and interestingly enough, only 100 speed EVs. The reason for this is because under a Rash Nature and 100 speed EVs, it's actually fast enough to outspeed a Choice Scarfed Infernape. Now, the reason I'm talking about Infernape is because that's actually their fastest Pokemon that would probably carry a Scarf. I do not expect Crobat to carry a Scarf. So, this will actually allow us to outspeed a Scarfed Infernape by 2 points, I believe, 1 or 2 points. And this will allow us access to knock off his Scarf if need be, or Volt Switch out of there. Which, if he brings in Rhyperior, then sure, Volt Switch is not going to be as possible, but just in case Rhyperior is there, we have the Grass Knot in place. Truffles is here using a Choice Band and carrying the typical skill-linked moveset. However, Rock Blast and Bullet Seed are there primarily to deal with most of the team. Knockoff is there to get some extra damage off, as well as knock off a few items. And then, of course, U-Turn is there in case we need a quick exit. But here we have the introduction of Gustav, the Feraligatr, and Clifford, the Arcanine. Arcanine is going to be here as our defensive wall, so to speak. Thanks to Will-O-Wisp and Intimidate, that means physical attacks aren't going to be as effective in general. And then, thanks to Snarl, it'll be able to not only deal some decent damage around, but also cut special attack. Unfortunately, Arcanine probably won't do a whole lot against Blissey, but we have other options. As for Gustav, Gustav is basically here as a typical setup sweeper. We have Dragon Dance, and then we have Aqua Jet, Dragon Claw, and Earthquake, which together deals with a good amount of his team. Our heat for this week is going to be Ecclesia the Togekiss rocking the weakness policy. So, I figured out, as long as we do not have rocks up, Ecclesia could take a potential Ice Beam from Kyurem, and then if we wish, we can take that, get the weakness policy off, Dazzling Gleam to finish him off, and then at a +2, honestly at a +2, we could just roost up, be a good defensive Pokemon, and then Flamethrower and Air Slash can basically do a lot of work for other Pokemon as well. And finally, we have Artorigus, who has stance change, leftovers, and basically is going to be our typical physical attacker, moderate defenses on both sides, as well as Sacred Sword specifically to deal with Blissey. So with that being said, let's see what we could come into. Time for ourselves to battle. Okay, so here we are into the battle, and it looks like we're actually pretty on point with what we expected. I think the only thing we didn't predict was the Rhyperior? And that was because we were expecting the Kyurem. Interesting. Okay, I'm actually surprised that I'm surprised that Jerry didn't actually bring the Kyurem here. Very interesting. Okay. So let's take a quick gander here. So Rhyperior is here, which means we probably can't start off with Xeno. But at the same time, okay, so wait, let's think. He might start with Crobat to go for a U-turn. Okay, we're actually going to start things. You know what? We're going to go ahead and start with Xeno, because he starts with Rhyperior. Okay, that's not that bad. I'm expecting Rhyperior to start things off with a Stealth Rock here. And honestly, as much as Stealth Rock would suck for Ecclesia and Clifford, I'm not as concerned about it, because Ecclesia doesn't necessarily have to worry as much anymore because Kyurem's not here. Albeit Weakness Policy might turn into a waste, but who cares? And Clifford actually has leftovers, so it's not that big a deal. So, but because I'm expecting him to go for Stealth Rock, we're actually going to click Grass Knot. I'm going to click that and see what happens. And we get the instant kill without the Stealth Rocks up. That is huge. And, okay, so Pakota immediately jumps in with Mawile, which is going to be a problem for us somewhat. However, oh, okay, so from what I understand, Jerry actually clicked counter. He was expecting a fighting attack, so that's interesting. But we're going to go ahead, we're expecting Mawile to go for an attack. So we're actually going to switch into Clifford. We're going to get the Intimidate off. And on top of that, we're also going to try to go for oh, there's a Sword Stance. So yeah, we're absolutely going to have to go for a Will-O-Wisp here. I do not like having a boosted attack, but we're going to take a chance. Slowbro comes in and takes the Willow instead, which, slight issue there, but that's not too bad. The question is Slowbro going... Well, Slowbro is definitely going to go for a water attack, I'm sure. The question is, do we go for the Snarl? Well, actually, I'm kind of okay with that. Let's go for the Snarl. So we take a good amount of damage, take that. Red card. Oh. Red card into Yawn. I like that. However, there is one slight issue with that, and that is we have Volt Switch. And conveniently enough, Rhyperior is gone, so we can Volt Switch freely into whatever we want here. If he wants to let Slowbro drop, then so be it, but no matter what, Xeno is not falling asleep right here. Not unless Slowbro has a Protect. I'm not even kidding. Getting Stealth Rocks, getting to avoid Stealth Rocks entirely is such a good benefit for this team. Okay, there's the Blissey. So we're going to Volt Switch out. Blissey's going to take that like a champ, unfortunately. However, now we have to figure out what in God's name we're going to go with here. So we need to actually come up with an idea on that, because Blissey is going to be a problem. Blissey has Thunder Wave. Artorigus is probably the only one that really doesn't mind. So we're going to do that. And if it carries Seismic Toss, then it doesn't do anything here either. So, let's see. Yeah, we're going to take a chance. We're going to Sacred Sword, because even if Slowbro takes the extra damage, Slowbro resists both main attacks anyway, and at least Sacred Sword has a chance to do some serious damage to Infernape. Oh, he's actually going for the attack. He's actually going for a move. Oh, teleporting. Oh, I forgot Blissey gets access to teleport. That actually does kind of put a wrinkle in our plan here. Now, granted, Blissey took about 54%, so I'm expecting this to be, as we're predicting here, a fully defensive set. The question now is, what is he going to go into? Which is the big one. I'm thinking Slowbro. Infernape. Oh, okay. Okay, so here's a question then. Because Infernape definitely cannot go for Fake Out. Do we King Shield? I think we King Shield. I'm expecting Infernape to possibly have a Sash, but I don't want to break it and lose Artorigus in the process. So we're going to King Shield here and see what happens. Close Combat. Oh, he expected me to switch. Interesting. Okay, so you know what? Now I'm not really as concerned, because if he used Close Combat, he's losing attack power. And honestly, I don't really care what he's doing now. I think we're actually in the clear to deal some good damage here, so yeah, let's go for a Sacred Sword. Well, wait. Yeah, Sacred Sword's probably best, because I don't think he's going to switch into Blissey for sure. But then again, maybe Shadow Sneak. Yeah, Shadow Sneak might actually be better. So we're going to Shadow Sneak. There's the Crobat. We're going to Shadow Sneak, deal a little bit of damage. And now we have to figure out what he wants to do with Crobat. I think he's probably going to U-turn, maybe? He's either going to U-turn or maybe predict a switch and go into Toxic, use Toxic, I'm thinking. So we're going to King Shield. Let's see what happens. He's going to Roost. Okay. Interesting. I'm not entirely sure what he's got available here, is the thing. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure Artorigus pretty well walls out Crobat, so we're just going to hit for an Iron Head. If he switches, then he switches. He's going to U-turn. That does literally nothing to us. We're going to get that back in recovery. And there goes the Blissey, and Blissey's going to take an Iron Head and go down. So, alright, that's a good setup for us. The real question is, what are we dealing with now? Is the next question. Because, honestly, truth be told, Artorigus actually does a lot to the rest of his team here. Okay, so here's an Infernape. I guess the question is Infernape going to go for another Close Combat? I don't think so. I feel like Jerry's smart enough to see that same trick twice. So, I'm going to be slower no matter what happens with Infernape anyway, unless I Shadow Sneak. Shadow Sneak is absolutely not going to kill. Fuck it, we're going to King Shield. Let's see what he does. Flare Blitz. Okay. Okay, that actually is interesting. Also, I find that funny that he decided to Flare Blitz. Like, I guess we just Sacred Sword? Well, actually no. Sacred Sword actually kind of loses its utility here, aside from Infernape. And I feel like he might... Truth be told, I feel like this might be his way of burning Infernape out. Like, because Infernape does do a decent bit in general power, but he might be... I wonder if he actually is Scarfed. No, we're going to Sacred Sword. I think he's going to try to sack Infernape off at this point. Okay, so he did a lot of damage there. He took some recoil. And Sacred Sword pretty much messes him up pretty good. Question now is... assuming he's scarred. Shadow Sneak does 30 to 35%. I don't see any reason not to Shadow Sneak here. Yeah, that took him out. Okay. So there's the Slowbro. There's the real threat to us now. Unfortunately, Shadow Sneak is not going to do very much to us here. We're going to King Shield. We're going to get a little extra health back, if nothing else. So he's going to yawn. Oh, it actually bypassed. Okay, interesting. I think he's going to go for a second yawn, though. The question is, who do we want to go into? We're going to switch. Honestly, I kind of feel like Ecclesia might be the last one. It might be the last thing we worry about here. So he's going to go for a Scald. I think Jerry is thinking hard on which one he wants us to do. Oh, he stays in. And he's going to slack off. Okay. Okay, that was a bit of a risky play on his part, but I see why. I guess we go for... Well, the question is, do we go for Air Slash now? Because I feel like he's going to predict... I'm going to go for Air Slash because he now knows Flamethrower's there. So I don't think he's going to switch straight into Mawile. He does not. Gets another Yawn. So, the question is, do we... Okay, so here's the question. If he stays in, Air Slash will probably kill. If it doesn't kill outright, it could flinch him, potentially, and then the burn takes him out. But if he switches now... You know what? I'm overthinking things. We still have 6 Pokemon. We can afford to take a couple chances. We're going to Air Slash again. And there's the Crobat. Okay, so he takes some damage there. He switches in. I think he's either going to go for a Poison attack, or he's going to go for a U-turn. I'm kind of anticipating the U-turn, honestly. We're going to switch. We're going to go into Clifford, because Clifford actually does pretty good here. Takes the attack, drop. There's the U-turn, which does barely anything. And here's the Slowbro again. Okay. We're going to... Okay, so we're going to go for a Snarl here. It's going to do a lot. Drop the special attack. He's going to slack off. And to be entirely honest, I don't know what else he's going to do. Like, he might yawn, but I don't think that's going to matter. So we're going to Snarl again. Okay, so that's what it is. He's going to keep yawning. He's going to keep slacking off in order to try to restore his health up. Which, I mean, I can't fault him. He's doing more. So unless we crit somewhere... The problem is... Well... It's not really a problem per se, because we could just keep doing this. Okay, so that didn't do much. But here's the Crobat. I'm expecting a U-turn. Is he going to U-turn? Is he going to U-turn, or is he going to Brave Bird? And Slowbro is definitely going to be at full health again, which is a slight irritation, but... I think the move is to switch back into Ecclesia? Well, okay, let me think here. Because Ecclesia doesn't really do a whole lot on these remaining 3 anyway. Aside from flinch hacks, and really that's not enough to matter. So, yeah, we're going to let Ecclesia go in. Super Fang. Oh, that's a big one. Okay, so we're going to go for another Air Slash. We're more than likely sleeping in this turn. I'm pretty sure, because I don't think we got at least one free turn of sleep. So we're going to see what Crobat comes up for. roost. Okay, so Ecclesia's asleep. I kind of want to sleep. I kind of want to roost again. There's the slow bro. Still asleep. Yawn, scald, slack off. Alright, I'm gonna roost. I'm gonna roost. We're gonna see what we can do here. Ecclesia's job at this point is to last as long as possible and get as much chip damage off, essentially, before she finally drops. Still asleep. There's the scald. Not so much there. So if we roost again, there we go. So we wake up. There's the ice beam. Oh, that's clever. That one's clever. So now we're just gonna let Ecclesia drop. So we're just gonna keep going as much as we can here. Slowbro will either slack off or he's going to switch. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Ecclesia is here to get as much damage off before finally dropping, so I'm kind of okay with that. There's a slack off. Ecclesia is back to sleep. Slowbro's probably going to slack off yet again, which I'm kind of okay with. Well, no, Ecclesia really is okay to just keep sleeping and drop, because there's the Ice Beam. Ice Beam does nothing. And there's our weakness policy. Wait a minute, I completely forgot about that. Hold on. Now we're going to roost. Now we're going to roost. We're going to try to roost up and really take advantage of this. Because I completely forgot that we had the weakness policy. I was so focused on Curum not being here that that one completely slipped my mind. So if we can survive and get a roost off, that's actually going to be huge. And barring it being a crit, I think we can actually live at least one more turn. Okay, so there's another slack off. So we're going to roost. Okay, we're still asleep. If we could wake up now. If we can wake up now, that's going to be huge for us. Come on, Ecclesia. Ecclesia slept for 3 turns. So, unless we get unlucky and have a 4th turn of sleep, we should be able to get a good amount of healing. And then next turn we can deal major damage here with Air Slash. Because there we go, and there's our roost. Okay. And there's another Ice Beam that doesn't matter. I kind of want to roost again, not gonna lie. Yeah, let's roost again. We're gonna max out our health here. There's the yawn. Okay. And now we're gonna just Air Slash. Okay. I feel like we're gonna have to burn through all of the slack offs, which is fine. So we're just gonna hit Air Slash again. Because I feel like, if anything, Slowbro might switch into... Well, wait a minute. Oh, we're still asleep. There's a slack off. So that's 1 turn. Okay, we're going to Air Slash, Mega Mawile, asleep. That was 2 turns. I think they're going to Iron Head. If we live, we're going for a Flamethrower. We woke up. Ecclesia, you are the best. I did not think that was actually going to be enough, even at +2 to kill, but holy shit. Okay, and now we just Air Slash. We just basically Air Slash everything down, is what we do. And he missed the Super Fang. That's a bit unfortunate. once again, Ecclesia just annihilated that that battle. Like, I am insanely surprised by that. Now, granted, Artorigas did a lot of good too, and Clifford actually helped a little bit too. But we're definitely gonna have to go into the post game shortly and discuss that. Okay, so in the end of that battle, we ended up coming out with a 6-0 win, which is kind of surprising, not gonna lie. And I'm even more surprised that we didn't even need to bring Truffles or Gustav into the mix at all. Looking at the results, though, they all had their pretty good moments. Even Clifford, who didn't really do anything too much, had his utilities too, so that's nice. As for the MVP, it definitely came between Artorigas and Ecclesia, because Artorigas did a lot of work against Infernape and managed to take out the Blissey. But in the end, I think it has to come down to Ecclesia being the MVP. Because not only did Ecclesia get more kills off, but she also outstalled Slowbro. And honestly, Slowbro would have been a problem for our team anyway. Granted, yeah, Xeno probably could have dealt with it at some point, but still, it still would have been a threat to the rest of our team anyway. Not only that, Ecclesia managed to take the weakness policy, which we honestly didn't think was going to matter since Kyurem wasn't there, and actually turned it into a huge buff for us in the process. And in doing so, also took out Mega Mawile without letting it get any damage off. I think Mega Mawile got one Swords Dance off, period, and that was it. So, all in all, Ecclesia did a damn good job for us this week. So, that's 2 weeks now that she's earned the MVP. Good job! As for next week's matchup, we are actually facing off against the Heavy Booty Dutes. And those of you who were paying attention to the schedule may notice that that's actually not who was on the schedule before. And the reason is because True Fresh Avocado actually ended up dropping. So Stack of Books decided to step in, and their team, Heavy Booty Dutes, has taken over the roster. And they did make some changes to their team, so we'll have to keep that in mind. But guys, that's the end of this battle, so we'll catch you guys next Friday. Stay tuned.